Welcome to Othello's Roundtable featuring Kat and me, and we'll be discussing today questions about the play that we read, Othello.
Okay. Do you want to start with the first question, or do you want me to?
I'll start.
Okay.
Do you think Othello was a bad person?
Not necessarily. It was just the things that happened in the story that made him a bad person. He was a good person in the beginning, but I don't think he was a bad person. It was just bad acts. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe he was a good person. Yes, he was wrong, but you can't really judge him based on him being manipulated because that's, him. That wasn't him, his actual behavior.
It was other people's effects on him.
Exactly. How some people with mental disorders are affected by, the things they see, but they don't believe it's real.
Yeah, it doesn't make them as a person. It's just some of their actions.
Exactly. Like how in the story, Othello didn't want to kill Desdemona's soul, but he wanted to kill her body because that's what he believed was in the wrong.
Okay. Was Bianca and Amelia also accountable for their actions in the manipulation?
I believe they were, because without them, Iago wouldn't have been able to fully complete his plan without that key handkerchief of his.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they were definitely a big part of it, and even if they would have said that it wasn't their fault, they were still in it. They still helped Iago scheme it and everything. Like you said with the handkerchief, if it weren't for Amelia giving him the handkerchief, then he would have missed out on a huge part in his plan. So I think it is a good point.
Why was Ricardo so willing to be Iago's puppet?
Oh, that's a hard one. Maybe he would have thought that they were closer friends. You said Rodrigo?
Rodrigo.
That's the one he wanted to marry Desdemona.
Right.
So maybe I think he was so willing just because of how desperate he was. He wanted to marry her, and he didn't feel like it was right that he wasn't allowed to, but the Moor was.
Othello.
Yeah. What do you think?
Honestly, I agree. I feel like it was out of jealousy in spite of Othello.
Yeah, it really was definitely out of spite. He was just how come she gets to marry him, but I don't get to marry him? Hell,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't blame him. I would have did the same thing.
Damn, just out of anger, jealousy, spite. Yeah. I mean, I do blame him, but on a man's point of view,
Exactly.
you see a little bit differently, but I blame him a little bit. He could have realized how bad it was, what he was doing, but no, he was just no, I just want to marry her. I mean, it was set in the olden times where they were just you know what, kill him, it's fine.
I mean, he was already set to marry her, so.
I thought he wasn't. I thought that Brabantio said no.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he said no to it. He was just you need to stop coming around here because I already said you can't marry her.
But he felt like he was right. She was rightfully his. So.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Why was Cassio used as a median for Iago's manipulation?
I feel like Cassio was used because he was the easiest person to actually frustrate and use as a pawn because of his, drunken behavior. Yeah. He's always aggressive with people around him when he's drunk. And he's also a pretty young and charming guy, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I understand on the young part, but I don't know so much as the drunken part because we were only really introduced to his drunken side sort of at the end when they when Iago tried to get him drunk. But I think that he was used because of how close he was with Othello and just how young and naive he was, because Iago did say like multiple times how close he was with Cassio, and he was just he he was just like he was talking about how close he was and how much he loved Cassio, and like so I guess he was using that as like, since we're so close, like you can do this for me, like kind of just using him to his advantage.
Right. But honestly though, if Yago didn't know that Cassio's behavior when he was drunk, then why would he want to get him drunk is what I'm trying to say. So I feel like they kind of know his behavior beforehand.
Yeah, like he's done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense, you know. So they know how he is when he's drunk. So he was trying to use that to his advantage too. Yeah, I understand that.
How does Desdemona feel about her father's passing?
I feel like she didn't really care that much. Like, I know in the story that he saw Desdemona as like his precious jewel, and like she was like everything to him. That's why he was so like upset with her getting married behind his back and everything.
Right.
But I don't think she really thought of him as like that much, like once she got married, because she did say, she was just like, I used to serve you, but now that I'm married, I serve him, and I'm rightfully his.
Right.
So I think that she just kind of like forgot about him once she got married, and she was just like, she just like moved on.
I don't think her father deserved that, honestly.
He really didn't, because like seeing her as like his jewel and like loving her so much and caring about her so much, and then she was just like willing to throw it all away for marriage. So I think that she didn't really care as much when he passed,
Right.
but she should have. What do you think?
I think love just blindsides people sometimes. And just makes them forget about what's in front of them, what's really important. So.
It's very true. Why did Othello let jealousy cause him to go against his religious beliefs?
That's a good question. Well, jealousy is a really strong emotion. It could cause anybody to do anything at any random time. They can just go off of their intrusive thoughts and just allow everything to just come out at once.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like people shouldn't be moved that much by jealousy. But I also understand from like my own perspective how jealousy can like change your actions and make you want to do something.
Right. Because if I was Othello, I would kind of feel the same way because that's my wife.
Yeah.
So.
Like hearing from a bunch of other people that your wife is having an affair with your like so-called best friend, like I'd be pretty mad too.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was just out of jealousy and love for Desdemona.
Yeah, it definitely was. It didn't say why. Why did he let his jealousy cause him to go against it? So, like, yeah, because of the strong emotion and just like how he felt over Desdemona. He didn't want to believe that she was having an affair at first, but Iago was just like pretty sure that he's having an affair, and he had like these so-called like, what's it called, evidence that she was cheating on him, like the handkerchief and the what was it, the story of while Cassio was sleeping, he was like
dreaming about Desdemona.
Yeah, I feel like that was so stupid.
It was.
Like, just believe in that. Sometimes jealousy just like will make you do stupid things.
Just takes over the brain.
Yeah.
Why were people so quick to go off rumors instead of actually having proof?
I think that has something to also do with like the jealousy factor, just because of like how jealous he got. I think it's stupid that he didn't like ask around and just like make sure, and like he didn't believe his wife when like he asked her if she was like doing this stuff, and she was just like no, and he didn't even believe her. He was just like, he heard it from somebody else, and he was just like dead set on it.
Exactly. He even slapped his wife.
Yeah, like I thought that was so stupid. Like I feel like he should have definitely gotten some like real hard evidence. Like just seeing a handkerchief in someone else's room, like easily could have been planted, which it was.
Exactly.
And the dream thing, the only other witness to that was Iago. So you're only going to believe the same one person over and over again instead of asking other people. I think that definitely has something to do with the jealousy.
I mean, to be fair, Othello was kind of, blindsided because he thought Iago was really loyal to him.
Yeah. I mean, he even made him like his like right hand man and like promoted him up in like over Cassio. Once Cassio got drunk, he brought Iago up and was just like, "Yeah, I believe everything he says." So Iago was definitely like working his way up there to gain his trust.
Yeah, he was.
So I think that played a big factor in it.
Cassio didn't deserve that demotion.
No, he really didn't, because he was tricked to like get into drinking, and then Iago staged that whole fight.
Right.
And that just like messed everything up for him. But yeah, I think it has something to do with like the jealousy factor. I think it also has something to do with like it was olden times. When was it set?
It was in the 1500s, late 1500s.
1500. So like men didn't really listen to women at that time. So basically anything she said, he was just like, she's lying. Just straight up, she's lying. Didn't even like question it, because this olden days we didn't like really have an opinion, and he just kind of just believed the other men. Mm-hmm. So I think it also has something to do with the time frame.
Yeah, also makes sense.
How would you feel if you were in Desdemona's place, getting killed by your husband?
That's a good question. I would feel betrayed. I couldn't keep it together like Desdemona did when she was being strangled. And no, before she died, she told Emilia to make it look like she staged suicide, because she didn't want people to believe that Othello killed her instead because of her love to him, which
I personally couldn't. I couldn't hold it together either. I was like, this motherfucker murdered me. Like, I would be straight up very upset, because like with like the last question saying like, why did he not like ask any more questions? He just like went off of like immediately what everyone else said. It kind of has like something to do with that. I would be really upset. Like, it's like, you didn't even believe me. I didn't even do nothing wrong. I haven't done anything but love you, and you kill me. Like, no.
The sad part is she didn't even fight back. She just let it happen.
she just let it happen, and then like with her last breath was just like, I killed myself. It wasn't him. I love my husband. Like, I wonder how Othello was feeling in that moment. Like,
I think he was torn up.
I think he definitely was.
He didn't want to kill her spirit, but her body, because that's what he felt did the wrong in the relationship.
Yeah, like he loved her mind, but he just didn't love what he thought had happened.
Right.
And you have any other opinions on that?
No. Desdemona is...
I'll be mad.
Why does the word drunk set Cassio off so much? That goes back into like one of our earlier questions.
Yeah, with his like problem with drinking and stuff. It could be like a trigger for him. Like he doesn't want, like, you mean like being called a drunk?
Yeah, being called a drunk.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely would hit like a personal kind of thing with him. Just like being called a drunk because of all of his alcohol problems. And it seems like in like one of the acts that we read, he was talking about how he said something about, he's just like, no, I don't want to drink because I know I have like a problem and I don't want to get started. I want to be like
sober.
I want to be sober. And that everyone was like pushing him to drink. So he has like a problem, but he's trying to fix it. So he definitely probably takes offense to being called a drunk, because it probably hurts him.
Yeah, I would feel the same way. Breaking an addiction is kind of a hard thing to do.
It is. It's very hard to break an addiction, and it's definitely harder when people will keep like pushing you towards it
And
or
labeling you as it.
yeah. So I think that it definitely like messed with him a lot to be called that. What would you do if you were in Amelia's place, knowing your husband was up to no good? Would you have stopped him or would you have helped him in his scheme?
If I was in Amelia's place and I know my marriage is already unstable, I would have been divorced my husband already. I would have never helped him with his scheme.
Yeah, but you can't. It's the 1500s. You can't divorce him. You're stuck with him.
But I don't have to help him in the scheme.
So you wouldn't help him at all?
I wouldn't help him. Why would I try and jeopardize someone else's marriage, even though mine was already,
Yeah. I mean, back in the 1500s, you have to think about like the time frame and everything. You wouldn't be able to like divorce him, so your marriage is already unstable as it is. And most women just immediately have to do exactly what their husband says.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did have free will, then no, you would not. I also would not help him. I'd be like, I see what you're up to. Like, if I knew what he was doing, I'd be like, I see what you're up to. And, like, I don't want any part in it. I don't want to help you. And I would immediately go tell, like, Desdemona, because I feel like Othello would not believe me. Because, I mean, it is his right-hand man. He wouldn't believe.
And he didn't believe her in the story either.
Yeah, didn't she come out and say?
Yeah, he said that, she said that her husband was lying. And that
Desdemona wasn't cheating. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so she definitely, like, she tried to, like, warn him, but he didn't listen. So, yeah, I still wouldn't help him because I wouldn't want to be, like, caught up in all of that.
Did Yago have other intentions other than just getting his promotion?
I feel like he did have other intentions other than to just get, like, payback for, like, his promotion and everything. I feel like there was, like, some other, like, thing going on. Because, like, you can't just do all of this to bring, like, a man to murder his wife just because you didn't get the promotion that you deserved.
Right. I think somewhere in the story, he said he genuinely had hatred for Othello. So he could have just did out of spite.
Do you think it was because he was black? Like, he just hated him because of his skin color and the things he was just getting away with?
No, I think he hated him not because he was black, but he did insult his race.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't like him because of his race. I think that he definitely had something against it because of, like, just how much he, like, attacked his race all the time. And then he was, like, talking to, like, Brabantio. He was just like, yeah, this, like, Moore's getting away with, like, all of this stuff. Your black ram is, like...
Your black ram.
This black ram is topping your white you.
Right.
That's, like, he just was coming after his race a lot.
A lot.
I feel like he definitely had something against his race. And, like, the things he was getting away with, like, just getting away with marrying Desdemona. Like, he didn't have any kind of, like, he didn't get in trouble for marrying her behind Brabantio's back. So maybe he was, like, upset about that, too. Like, he feels like he should have paid for that.
I feel like he had, like, some type of superiority complex where he feels like he should be above Othello simply because of his skin color.
Yeah, I agree.
And because, he felt like he deserved it because he might have felt like he was the best.
Yeah. I don't know, like, his relationship with Rodrigo, they must have been, like, closer than him and Cassio. So, like, maybe he was also just, like, really upset that his friend didn't get to marry the girl he wanted and, like, somebody else did, along with, like, the race thing. I really do think it was, like, a race thing. Because, like, people back then were really racist.
Still are.
You're racist.
Alright.
Okay. Why didn't Desdemona's father let Ricardo marry Desdemona?
That is a good question. Maybe he felt like Ricardo was undeserving of his daughter.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, that's his jewel. And he doesn't want her to just marry anybody out the wazoo, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And to be fair, Ricardo isn't really that smart.
Mm-mm.
Not really a good man either.
No, he's been manipulated by Iago the entire story.
The entire story.
I mean, so was Othello, but like,
True.
Othello did like truly love her, and I feel like Bermancio saw that, like Othello truly loved her, and he wasn't like as upset. Well, never mind. He died because he was so upset. So never mind. I just remembered that. That's such a petty thing. You die because your white daughter married a black man. Are you serious? Like,
he's kind of relatable.
what was the question? What'd you call it? Oh, why didn't? Yeah, I feel like he thought that he didn't deserve it as well. I agree with you.
Why didn't Othello try to, get more proof that his wife was actually having an affair?
I think that goes along with like what we talked about earlier, like why didn't he listen to like anybody else? Why didn't he ask more questions and stuff?
Right.
I think that like it was pretty much just to do with like the time frame and everything of him just like he just really didn't like even think about it. He just heard it from Iago, which was his like right hand man, and he was just like, I'm gonna believe him because like he's told me all this other stuff and it's been true so far. So like might as well just listen to him on this too.
Just go with the flow, I guess.
But I feel like he should have gotten more proof. Like he did love his wife.
He did.
So like why wouldn't you want to get more proof? Like just in case it's just like what if he's lying to me? Like what if this isn't true?
Like when he was killing her, I'm pretty sure he actually felt regret, and Shakespeare said something about while he was actually strangling his wife, what he felt.
Yeah, I remember that too. He said something about like remorse or something that he'd like. It still hurt him, of course, because he is human. Exactly. But like, I don't know. I think he took it like way too far. He didn't need to kill her.
Exactly. And for a man that you've made a lieutenant for what? That one night?
Yeah, like he just got that promotion, and you're just gonna kill your wife just because this man said she was having an affair.
That's what I'm saying.
And your wife is swearing up and down that she didn't have an affair. She's always been loyal to him. She's never shown any kind of like disrespect towards him. Like she even went behind her own father's back to marry him.
True. But, however, I will make a point for Othello, because even in today's society, guys go with other guys if they believe their other partner is cheating. Because, I don't know why, but that just forms a lot of friendships now, recently.
Yeah, because they trust their friends so much, and they're just like, they're kind of blinded by hatred and jealousy, and just they're overcome with a lot of feelings, so most of the time they don't even check.
Right.
It's just like with like rumors and stuff that like go around, like people don't even check with the person that the rumor's about. They just like hear the rumor and they just go with it.
Just go with it.
Like it is stupid, but it does happen a lot.
It does.
Did Cassio really have a drinking problem, or was he just a lightweight?
Like he said earlier, I believe he did have a drinking problem, honestly. I don't think he was just a lightweight, because if he does it on multiple times, like on multiple occasions enough to get called a drunk, I feel like it is a problem.
Yeah, I agree too. Before I was thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it like that much before when I like made the question. But I was thinking that he was a lightweight because of like, I wasn't thinking about like deeper in. I was thinking of like, he just got drunk like that one time, and he was just acting crazy. But how would Iago know that he has a drinking problem if he hasn't drunk before?
So it shows you he has a past.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Why did Iago actually stab his wife? What was the point of him doing so?
That's a good question. I'm not sure why he stabbed his wife. Like, in the midst of that whole, like, tumble, because everyone else was, like, fighting, everyone else was, like, kind of, like, upset at each other in the moment. I don't know why he stabbed his wife. I think he definitely had no reason to stab her, because she had been loyal to him. She had been listening to him.
I feel like he did.
He did have a reason?
Because, listen, in a murder case, no witnesses, no evidence means no case. So.
Yeah, I mean, that is true, but I feel like he didn't have, like, proper reasoning to stab her, because she did help him with all of his, like, scheming. She was loyal to him.
Not really. Until the last part, she wasn't loyal because she.
The last part, she was telling everybody, like, she was just like, no,
so
my husband's scheming against me.
If she was bold enough to tell Othello, I'm pretty sure she would have told someone else, and he could have got arrested.
Yeah, he could have gotten in a lot of trouble for that. He could have got, like, really upset at her, and he was just like, I'm not gonna let her, like, backstab me again. So
yeah, maybe you're that.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta hurry up.
What time is it? Oh, it's 3 o'clock.
Some of these questions we already answered.
Let's see.
After your question, let's do one more.
Did Iago deserve to be tortured, or should he have been killed immediately?
Honestly, I feel like he should have been tortured because he did torture the other people throughout their lives and their marriages. So what goes around comes around.
Yeah, I agree also that he definitely deserved to be tortured. Like you said, he had, like, tortured other people too, but he hadn't, like, tortured them in, like, the physical way, but more of, like, an emotional way by, like, playing with other people's minds, like Othello's mind, and like Othello said that he was being, like, mentally tortured by, like, Iago telling him that his wife was cheating on him.
Right.
So, like, I do agree on the fact that I think that he should be tortured.
Yeah. Womp, I guess. Alright, for the last and final question, what would you have done if you were in Othello's place? I feel like we might have the same answer on this one.
I don't know. I feel like if I was in Othello's place, like, in the beginning, if I would have heard that, like, my wife was cheating on me, I would have gone to her and asked her, but, like, I would have believed what she had to say, as long as there was, like, no, like, hard evidence that she was cheating. Because, like, she was talking about Cassio a lot, trying to get his promotion back, which could just be, like, her loyalty to trying to get her husband and their friend back together. But, I mean, I would have definitely been crossed by jealousy, but not to that length. I wouldn't have, like, crossed my wife like that. I would have tried to, like, work things out, talk to her, and try to figure everything out. And then once I figured out that, like, Iago's lying and stuff, I would have definitely tortured him. Yeah.
Also, as Othello, personally, I would have kept an eye on my troops that night to make sure that Cassio wasn't drunk. Because if that would actually happen, that could have prevented so much of Iago's plan.
It really could have, because he would have never gotten demoted. Like, he wouldn't have gotten the chance to get promoted because Cassio would have never been demoted.
Exactly. And I would always try to look for hard evidence for, to see if my wife is actually being, unfaithful.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah. So, is that our last question?
That's our last question.
Okay, that was Othello's Round Table. Thank you for listening.
I'm Miss Chapel.
Bye-bye.